Going over the lineups right now of Red Lake. We'll take that and send it down to the PA announcer right now.
Senior number 32, Cole Spears. Senior number 33, Anthony Bolio. Number 35, sophomore, Evan Johnson. Number 32, junior, Frank Papasador. And number 33, sophomore, David Smith. Now, here are the reserves for the home team, Minneapolis Forward. Number 1, Zion Sanford, Jr. Number 3, 7th grader, Caroline Holland. Number 5, senior, Marquis Holland. Number 11, sophomore, Glenn Carter. Number 15, junior, Nikki Hines. Number 20, sophomore, Elijah Campbell. Number 21, senior, Jameer Jackson. Number 34, junior, Nicole Hines. And sophomore, number 34, Martin Dalton. And now here are the starting lineups for today's contest, Thursday alternately. Out forward, for the Warriors, number 5'10" junior, number 24, Brady Beck. For the Warriors, the 6'5" senior, number 35, Isaac Johnson. Again for Red Lake, the 6'4" senior, number 12, Ron McLean Jr. For the Minneapolis Quarterfinal, the 6'3" junior, number 15, Taylor Johnson. At center for Red Lake, the 6'6" senior, number 21, Robert Burrow. For Minneapolis North at center, the 6'6" junior, number 32, Odell Wilson III. At back for Red Lake, a 5'9" junior, number 25, Kelly Lefkow. For the Brewers at guard, the 6'2" senior, number 4, Rafael Sanders Smith. At the other guard for the Warriors, the 5'6" senior, number 4, Jamie Beck. And at guard for Minneapolis North, the 5'10" sophomore, number 12, Nasir Ahmed. Assistant coaches for Red Lake are Kevin Pinkberg and Nate Milford. The head coach is Roger White. For the Brewers, the assistant coaches are Michael Sharkey, Trent Rick, and Tyler Smith. Head coach for the Brewers is Larry Frankie. The assistants for Billy Thomas, Jared Evans, and the umpires are Tim Beck and Tim Beck.
Phelps along with Khalid Elamine here getting set for game number 1 here in the Class 1A quarterfinals. It's Red Lake coming in with a record of 25-4, their 9th overall trip to state. Let's take a look at the players to watch for the Warriors, Khalid. We've got Rob McLean, 16.7 a game, as well as Jamie Cook, 17 points a game. Two very powerful players for the Warriors.
Yes, I'm looking for Rob McLean to come out to be very aggressive this game. The first game at North High, he did a lot, but he wasn't very aggressive offensively. I look for him to come out, try to establish himself, and try to give the Raiders a boost.
And for Minneapolis North, Isaac Johnson and Odell Wilson, the 4th. Tell me about those two.
Well, Odell Wilson, he brings the physical toughness and the rebounding to North High. I look for him to really try to establish himself in the post. And, of course, Isaac, what can you say? He brings the toughness. He brings the grit. He's also the offensive power punch for North High. I look for him to have a big game.
We're underway here in the Class 1A quarterfinals. It's Red Lake, the visiting team. They're unseeded. They're in white with red trim. They'll be moving right to left on your screen here in the first half. Minneapolis North, the Polars, the top seed, the defending champs. They're in blue with white trim, moving left to right. Pull-up jumper is off the rim, no good. Put back is up and blocked. And the Polars able to pull down the rebound as it's brought up the floor by Johnson. Johnson takes it all the way to the hole, no good. Rebound is up, and that's no good as well. Picked up, it's on the floor. They're battling for a jump ball. And the possession arrow goes toward the Polars.
And North High is doing exactly what Coach McKenzie said before the game. They're going to come out, try to get out in transition, push the ball, attack Big Red Lake in transition, and from the first possession you see they try to do that.
They'll put it underneath to Odell Wilson, the fourth. Wilson, 17 points a game as we talked about. That one is blocked, but no, a foul called. That one on Bolio. Robert Bolio the third, a 6'6 senior, averaging 11.3 points a game. And that will send Johnson to the line.
Tough call on the baseline. I thought he had his hand straight up. It was a good block, but the refs thought otherwise. Johnson kind of got caught behind the backboard on that one.
Roger White, the head coach at Red Lake in his 13th year, and as I mentioned, as Johnson has the first point of the game. The Warriors in their 9th state tournament trip, 25-4 their record. Minneapolis North is 29-2 on the year. This is their 21st trip to the state tournament. Johnson 2 for 2 from the line. Head coach Larry McKenzie, I mentioned at the outset, they're the defending state champs. They also won it 1980, and then a three-peat, 95, 96, and 97. A couple of teams my partner's very familiar with.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I was proud to be a part of those teams. What great teams they were.
A steal by Johnson. He's in alone, and he's up for the slam dunk.
Red Lake is going to have to take care of the ball, especially early on in this first half. You don't want to put yourself in a hole with careless mistakes and allowing North to get out in transition.
Bolio shot no good. This is Sanders Smith. Drops it off. Put off the backboard by Wilson and in, and a timeout call. Probably a wise one by Roger White, don't you think, Khalid?
Definitely was a good timeout to stop the run, stop the bleeding. But North High, that's exactly what they wanted to do. Get out, get a couple of early turnovers, and get their offense clicking.
Still early in this one, 6-0 the score. Minneapolis North leading Red Lake, 16:37 to play here in the first half. What is Roger White telling his players in the huddle?
I think once the Red Lake gets the ball over half court, they're going to have to set some screens, free up the ball handler, because North is coming with such tremendous pressure that they're going to have to help out.
And another steal, this time by Isaac Johnson. Johnson fakes the behind the back pass and lays one in. Johnson, a 6'5 senior, averaging nearly 22 points a game. Nice move that time by Cook, and a foul called on Minneapolis North.
As you see, North has come out very aggressive on defense. Man-to-man, they're trying to pressure them, trying to pressure Red Lake. Red Lake has to be under control, take the pressure and try to beat the pressure. Even if you're not, you're going to have to set some screens to free up the ball handler.
This is Rob McLean Jr. He's a 6'4 senior, averaging 16.7 a game. Jamie Cook with the ball. Jamie Cook wears 4, Brady Cook 24. This is Kendall Whitefeather to the corner. Three-point shot off the rim, no good. Tip back underneath, a foul. Shot doesn't fall, but that will send Bolio to the line.
Red Lake has been on the boards offensively the first couple of shots they have gotten. That's exactly what they need to try to neutralize that pressure from North High.
Red Lake about 6 hours northwest of the Twin Cities, but they always bring such a great crowd here to the tournament.
They always travel well. Like I said earlier, it makes for a good atmosphere, a great atmosphere actually, and it's great for the state tournament.
8-0, they find themselves down early. I think they just got to settle in a little bit. You mentioned the offensive boards, and I think some of those putbacks would fall normally, but perhaps a little tournament jitters.
Of course, the state tournament brings out the nerves. It brings that early jitters going on, but after the first few minutes, they'll settle down and they'll convert those easy layups.
Bolio sinks his second free throw attempt. Long three-point shot is in for Isaac Johnson from downtown.
We mentioned he is the offensive power punch for North High Polars. He'll pull from that range. If he's open, you're going to have a hand up when he catches.
McLean with it. Dishes. Now to the corner. Cook. Stolen away, but a foul on Sanders Smith. And the Red Lake fans wanting a technical foul called. They won't get it, but pleading for one. 15:25 to play early on in this one, but already a 10-point lead for the top-seeded Polars.
Sanders, a little bit of frustration. He thought that was a clean steal. He kind of bounced the ball in frustration. It wasn't trying to show the ref up, but he was a little frustrated. But Coach McKenzie's not having any of that today. He sat him down immediately, and that was the right move to make.
McLean with the runner. It doesn't fall. They battle for the rebound. It's yanked down by Wilson. He'll hand it off to Elamine. Nasir Elamine, nephew of my broadcast partner here today. Inside Wilson, spin move, left-handed layup, no good. The putback is rolled in by Marquise Holloman.
Great follow by Marquise. He's been an unsung hero the whole season. You know, sometimes, some games he doesn't play as much, but the games he does get in and play substantial minutes, he always produces.
Kendall Whitefeather, left-footed three-pointer off the rim, no good. Wilson, the rebound, brought up by Elamine. Elamine takes it all the way, gets some contact, no good on the shot. Rebound by Wilson. He's underneath. He's fouled, and he gets it to fall.
Great offensive rebound, great follow. That's Odell Wilson at his best. Following the offensive shot, getting the rebound, and converting it back. He's very strong. He plays football. As you see his statue, he's very solid, very strong, has a very good base in his legs. And he powers through those initial fouls to get the ball up on the board.
6'6", and he's dominating on the offensive board so far this morning. Sinks the free throw. It's now 16-1 in favor of Minneapolis North, and a timeout called, or a technical call.
I think it's going to be a technical on Isaac Johnson. He has to learn to keep his composure in control.
And I missed what happened. Where was the foul?
I think they were doing a little bit of bickering.
Away from the ball?
Away from the ball, kind of talking, kind of a little bit of taunting a little bit. And he has done that. You know, he's grown up in North Minneapolis on the playground where, you know, drawing back and forth with other players is encouraged. But, of course, on this set, you have to just allow that to keep going. And don't get involved in that during the game.
Kendall Whitefeather sinks the first technical foul free throw. Second attempt is up, and that one's good as well. So 2 freebies for Red Lake, and they'll maintain possession of the ball. It's now 16-3, and a 20-second timeout called by head coach Larry McKenzie. So as we look at the early on in this one now, to get things settled down for Red Lake, what do you suppose they need to do?
I think Red Lake has to try to use this timeout here to their advantage. They have been getting hit early with the transition buckets. They're down 16-3, but they have to settle down, set some screens, and get some opportunities with some shots. The more shots and possessions they have, they're going to become more comfortable with the game. Don't allow the game to get out of control so early if they can help it.
And it seems like Coach McKenzie wants his players to stay in control as well, too, more emotionally, I suppose.
Definitely. As you see, you have 1 technical, and we had almost 2 technicals, but he took Jaquan Sanders out of the game. So they have to stay, like you said, stay cool. They're up 13 points, so you're fine there. All you have to do is continue to play hard.
McLean with it. Tries to take it inside, gets around Wilson, now kicks it out. Cook has it, nearly stolen away. Cook runs into trouble, but he traveled. And just a swarming defense by the Polars.
That's what North High wants to do, swarm you, try to overwhelm you with their pressure so you make mistakes and play faster than you really want to play. Red Lake has moved to a 2-3 zone, matchup zone. Looks like I think this is a good move. Try to make North beat you from the outside and don't allow them to get in the lane where they do so much damage.
Wilson with the shot, no good. Rebound by McLean.
And you see the zone worked for the first possession. Stop North. They got the defensive rebound, and now they're attacking in transition.
Cook with the runner, too strong. Gets his own rebound. Three-point shot is up, no good. Wilson pulls it down. Here's Johnson. Johnson underneath, and nearly a travel.
I thought that was a travel, but the referee said no.
Holloman, three-pointer, rattles in. He's got 5, more than his season average of 4.9 for the 6'5 senior. Another steal. Wilson quickly down the floor, strong to the hole and good.
Right now, North High is just so comfortable in their style of play right now. It's going to be hard for Red Lake to come back from this 18-point deficit, but they have to just grind it out, make good plays, and hopefully they can cut the lead down by halftime.
And North so quickly down the floor. Johnson all the way. He's fouled. Can't get the shot to fall. That's Taylor Johnson. He has 4 so far, averaging 10.1 on the year. But it seems as though when Red Lake turns it over, North is down the floor instantly and applying pressure.
That's definitely the game plan. Coach McKenzie, we talked to him at the pregame. He definitely wanted to get out in transition, especially after missed baskets and turnovers.
Johnson, first shot is up and good. He now has 5. You played in a couple state tournaments, won 3 of them in 95, 6, and 7. What's this first game like in your first year when you played in your first quarterfinal on the big stage?
Well, we were going against White Bear Lake, and of course White Bear Lake has given North problems during the state tournament back in the 80s, so we were very locked in, and we wanted to send a message to White Bear Lake that wasn't going to happen in 95, so we were very nervous, and we definitely were very secure and very happy to be at the state tournament, but we want to show well because of the past.
Second shot is up and good for Johnson. Cook will take it up the floor for Red Lake. In addition to your 3 state championships here at Minneapolis North back in the mid to late 90s, you also won a college national championship as a foul is called on Minneapolis North. Well, you played for UConn. That was in 1999. What was that like?
That was unbelievable. It was a dream come true, of course, playing on a national stage, national level, against a prestigious university as Duke University. Being able to beat them was a great game, and we were just a better team that night. So we were very happy about that accomplishment, and we're part of history, so that's a big thing.
Another foul called. This one on Red Lake. I believe it was Cook who will take his first personal foul. 5 fouls on Minneapolis North. That's number 4 on Red Lake. I call a lot of hockey games, Khaled, and people often make the comparison as Johnson puts up a 3-point shot. That rattles out. McLean will take it back up the floor. McLean, fast break, tipped away. It's on the ground, and a travel will be called on Holloman. A lot of former hockey players make the comparison that the high school championships they win mean more than the college ones, or even the Stanley Cups that they may have won later on. Can you compare the NCAA championship to your state tournament wins?
Well, definitely winning the state tournament 3 times in a row, that was definitely a great feat, a great deal. It means a lot for North High community, for the North High student body, but I think the national championship was a little bit more because it's nationally, and it was in front of millions of fans. So they both rank up high up there, but I really think the NCAA tournament means more to me personally.
Elamine with the lay-in, and it's now 25-3 and another timeout. We'll take one as well. 12:29 to play here. First half of our first game. We've got 4 coming your way here all day on PrepSpotlight.tv. Back here at Williams Arena, Ryan Phelps along with Khaled Elamine. Game 1 of 4 here in the Class 1A state quarterfinals. This one, a big lead early for Minneapolis North, 25-3. 12:25 to play here, first half from the barn. McLean with it for Red Lake. The Red Lake Warriors in white. Cook puts up the 3-point shot. That one rattles out, no good. Johnson will bring it up the floor. This is Isaac Johnson, the 6'5 senior. Kicks it outside, Elamine. Into the paint, now throws one back out to Holloman. Inside Wilson, this is Johnson. Johnson already hit a 3-pointer from way downtown. Second shot is up, no good. Rebound for the Polars, but a travel called on to Kai Hines.
Hines is a pretty good rebounder. He's coming from Indiana earlier this school year. This is his first year at North High. He has to learn to have better balance after the rebound, but he's definitely athletic, and he gets a lot of block shots because of his athleticism.
McLean with it for Red Lake. His team down big right now, looking for some sort of run and just maybe a little better ball control, better shot selection as well. Although the shots aren't bad, they're just not hitting them.
Yes, they're getting some good opportunities. Like you said, they're just not hitting them as of right now, so they have to continue to let them go when they're open.
That one hit off a North player, so no over and back. Drive to the hole by Morrison, no good, but he's fouled, and he'll head to the line. 11.5 to play here, first half.
Red Lake just have to keep playing hard. Keep playing hard. There's a lot of game left. Don't get discouraged from the score right now. Keep playing hard, and the game will come to them.
Morrison's first shot attempt, no good. Yeah, the NCAA tournament definitely has a life of its own. Everybody fills out a bracket, whether you're a basketball fan or not, and so much fun to watch. It was neat, too, I think, for many Minnesotans, me being one of them. I was in college at the same time you were, and I think a lot of people really here in Minnesota pulled for that UConn team because of your influence on it.
Well, I appreciate that so much. You know, going out to Connecticut, it definitely was a far to travel being from Minnesota, but I just felt like it was the right school for me to attend, and it proved to be the right one because we ended up winning a national championship.
Nice save by Papa Sadora to keep the ball alive for Red Lake. They can't afford turnovers at this point, being down 22, and a foul called on Isaac Johnson. I believe that's the 7th team foul now on the Polar, so we'll have a 1-and-1 situation here.
And that's a good point. Being in the bonus with 11 minutes to go, that's a long time for each foul. Now the Red Lake is going to be shooting free throws, so they have to convert now while the clock is stopped in order to get back in the game. It's possible to do, but you're going to have to exude a lot of energy for the second half if you're going to get back.
And hit the shots, especially these freebies.
You definitely need to knock these free ones down.
Jamie Cook, his first shot, no good. Rebound to Wilson. Up the floor quickly, this is Sanders Smith. He's going to take it all the way to the hole. He's blocked from behind, but fouled by Bolio. Robert Bolio III has spent a lot of this first half on the bench so far. That's his second foul for the 6'6 senior. First shot is up, and that one's good by Sanders Smith. Two teams, two communities here deep in basketball tradition. I know how much on the reservation we hear just how much and how important the game is to them. Very similar to your neighborhood in Minneapolis North.
Definitely is. Basketball doesn't only teach you about sports, it teaches you about life. You can learn a lot of life lessons playing the game of basketball. So that's why the influence, that's why the culture is so deep in the two communities.
Bolio the putback. And now back the other way. Johnson is blocked. He's able to maintain control, and he lays it in from underneath. Very physical play. Now Cook back the other way for Red Lake. It's a 24-point lead. This is Bolio on the baseline. Looking for an outlet. He'll shoot instead. No good. Rebound by Bolio. The other Bolio, that's Anthony with the putback. And now Red Lake finally starting to hit some shots. Sanders Smith, kind of an odd shot toward the hoop, and it doesn't fall. McLean the rebound. And he's fouled on the play, and he'll head to the line. That one is going against Taylor Johnson.
And they'll be shooting a bonus now. McLean has to be a little bit careful. He's taking the rebound and initiating the break on the dribble, but once he gets over half court, he has to realize North Polars are not going to back off. They're going to come swarming, so he has to understand who's the open man at that time.
McLean now, so far, scoreless, and he'll remain that way for the time being. Nearly steals it, and he does, pulls it away. McLean with it inside. Bolio batted away. Nice defensive play by Johnson. Here comes Elamine. Nasir with it, kicks it outside. Johnson steps inside the arc, puts up the two-point shot. That one's good.
Johnson definitely has a nice shot in the two-point range area. You'd like to see him get to his sweet spot in the two-point range area and knock it down.
We're nearing the midway point of this first half. Bolio, nice delay.
Fake. Yes.
He's got 4. And with that big crowd that Red Lake brings, you want to see them take advantage of that, get some momentum, get that crowd on their feet.
You definitely do. First of all, you have to get stops. And once you get stops, then you can get out and transition and try to make some things happen. But they've been getting to the free throw line, but haven't been knocking down their free throws as of late. So that's what they have to do if they're going to inch their way back into this game.
Sanders Smith misses the three-point shot. Cook with the rebound. This is McLean. To the paint, the floater, good. Now they're starting to come alive on the other side of the barn.
McLean can definitely make a lot of problems from North High if he gets aggressive and knocks shots down. He's very athletic, can get in the lane when he wants to, but he has to finish.
Another long three-point shot for Johnson. Kisses the glass and falls.
And Johnson lives for those type of moments when the other team is making a run and he has the opportunity to quiet the crowd. He loves those type of situations, so you have to be alert when he catches the ball on the perimeter.
It's a 23-point game. Still a long mountain to climb for Red Lake. Three-point shot is up and no good. Foul called, and it'll go for Minneapolis North. That's the 6th team foul on Red Lake. So Johnson will bring it in. That's Isaac Johnson. Isaac Johnson with 10 so far in this one.
Red Lake still in the 2-3 zone, really trying to prevent North High from getting in the lane. Going to try to make them beat them from the outside. Good pass.
And Johnson finishes. He's got 12 now. Zion Sanford into the game for Minneapolis North, number 1.
Isaac caught that right between the first wave and second wave on the 2-3 zone, right where the zone is vulnerable in the middle.
Bolio draws the contact. He'll head to the line for 2. That's team foul number 9 on the Polars.
Red Lake has to continue playing. North is piling up fouls in this first half. They have to continue playing, keep getting fouls on North High. Hopefully they'll get them in some foul trouble and get the advantage when the substitutions have to be made.
You were part of the broadcast yesterday at Target Center for the buzzer beater that Champlain Park put up. Fun. It went viral on Twitter.
It definitely was an exciting game. Chaska played a great game. Unfortunately, at the end on the kick out, they got beat on a Hail Mary type of play. So, you have to take your hats off to Chaska. They played a great game, but Champlain Park pulled it out in the end.
This is Sanford with it. 36-12 our score. Bolio has 4 points, along with Anthony Bolio. That's Robert and Anthony, each with 4. Pull-up jumper is good by Johnson.
Johnson's a great mid-range shooter. He knows where he's strong. His strong part in the game is.
A steal.
He knocks it down.
Here he comes for another flush. And the Polars are running away with this one early here at Williams Arena. This is Cook. Cook underneath. Bolio. Patient, and it's knocked away, but he's fouled. And Bolio, that's Robert Bolio, will head to the line. I mentioned the viral video yesterday on Twitter. Fans, don't forget to follow our Twitter account, @MN Prep Spotlight, for all the latest prep sports news, links to streaming broadcasts, and more. That's @MN Prep Spotlight on Twitter. Different times these days than when you were playing in high school.
Definitely is. I wish we had Twitter and all the social media back when we played, but hey, it's a sign of the times, and this is just where we are. It's a great thing, and I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't think that it's a bad thing at all.
Are you on Twitter?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so you follow some of the stuff out there?
Yep, at Elamine Training.
This is Johnson. Sanford with it. 7 minutes left here, first half. Big lead for the Polars. They're the top seed, defending champs. Johnson, jumper is good. And he's just smooth as can be out there this morning.
He has great touch around the basket, great touch from mid-range. He has to get a little bit better with his guard skills, point guard skills, but shooting the ball, scoring the ball, he's very tough.
Cook hits from outside. Jamie Cook with his first 3.
And let's hope that opens up the basket a little bit more for Red Lake to get some shots knocked down.
The floater is in for Sanders Smith. who has 4 points. And now McLean the other way. Polar's doing a nice job, but McLean takes it all the way in. Polar's doing a nice job of answering. Anytime even maybe a little bit of momentum comes in for Red Lake, the Polars just squash them right away. A 20-second timeout called by Larry McKenzie. We'll head to break as well. 44-17, 6:17 left here at the barn. It seems like anytime Red Lake hits a big shot, North is right back on them again, and they're not missing much today, are the Polars.
The Polars are being very aggressive. That was the game plan as we talked to Coach before the game. They want to attack early. They want to attack in transition. And North is a great finishing team. If you don't stop them before they get in the lane, it's too late.
Johnson able to pick it up. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound to McLean. McLean down the floor. Throws it to the corner. Cook just hit from there moments ago, and he does it again.
Great shot. That's his shot from the corner.
And a travel.
Let's hope that opens up his confidence, get him going, and gets the Red Lake Warriors going.
McLean with 4 points, Cook with 6. And it seems like McLean is trying to take over in this one. He's had a couple of nice drives. A lot of the rebounds have gone his way, but just having a tough time hitting the shot so far. Cook has got 2 in a row now from three-point range.
Well, they have to just keep playing hard. See, the lane is going to open up for them on the drive now that they're hitting some open shots. So they have to just continue playing.
McLean tried with the scoop. He had a free shot to the hole. Couldn't make it fall. That's the 7th team foul now called on Red Lake, so that will send Sanders Smith to the line for a 1-on-1 situation. It's a 24-point game, 5:36 left here in the first half. Some great action coming your way all day here from the 1A quarterfinals. Up next, we've got the 5-4 matchup as Sanders Smith hits his first shot. The 5-4 matchup is Springfield from southwestern Minnesota and Nevis, which is up in the northwest part of the state. Not nearly as far north as Red Lake, of course. Nevis up by Park Rapids. They've had a great year as well.
I know
Papasadora pulls down the rebound.
Great fishing in that area.
Absolutely. Beautiful part of the state. In trouble, but they find Kendall Whitefeather. Bolio hands it off.
Nice
Papasadora can't get it, but McLean finishes with the putback.
McLean is so athletic around the basket. We just hope he gets more opportunities to cash in around there.
Johnson looked like he wanted to shoot from way downtown. Instead, he dishes. Little miscommunication between he and Sanford and the turnover.
If Red Lake can get consecutive stops and get consecutive baskets, it'll put a little bit more pressure on North.
Here's McLean now, 5 minutes to go. Double teamed. He's able to get it over to Cook. Cook stops, fires it back to McLean. In the corner, Whitefeather. Three-point shot is up, no good. Rebound is pulled down by Sanders Smith. Fires it down to Johnson. Johnson takes it himself, and he travels. He wanted a call on McLean. He doesn't get it.
When Isaac Johnson gets to the next level, he's going to understand that dropping that pass off to the trailer is going to be the correct play instead of trying to take it in and challenge the big guy.
Still plenty of time in this one, but Red Lake's going to have to start hitting some shots. Bolio misses from close range. Taylor Johnson with it. Isaac Johnson calling for it. Arms in the air. Sanders Smith throws it inside. Now back out to Johnson. Sanders Smith nearly lost it. Grabs the handle, drives it to the hole, and lays it in. Nice athletic play by Jaquan.
What a drive. Jaquan is definitely hard to handle. Once he gets his lane, gets his speed going downhill, he's hard to stop.
Bolio, it's on the floor. He's on the floor, and he travels. And it's possessions like that that Red Lake has just had too many of those, and they need to put an end to them.
Yeah, it's easier said than done with the pressure that North brings once the guy catches it in the middle. It's hard to duplicate that type of pressure in practice, so until you face it, you're not going to understand how tough it is.
Nasir El Amin, the 6'2 sophomore. Sanders Smith, the three-point shot, no good. Nasir, your nephew, talk about his game a little bit.
Oh, Nasir, his game is growing. He's learning how to become the natural point guard. He loves to pass the ball. He loves to make his teammates better. He has to get a little bit more aggressive, I think, personally, on offense. He can do it. He's also a dual sportsman. He plays football, so I think he enjoys playing football a little bit more than basketball. But on the basketball side, he's definitely learning how to play the point guard position. And as soon as he gets a little more comfortable in scoring the basketball, he's going to become a much better player.
Minneapolis North has had a nice run the last couple of years on the gridiron.
Yes, they have. Won the state championship this year, and they're looking to try to repeat next year. They have a lot of people coming back, and we look for them to have a great season.
McLean fires one. It's pulled down by White Feather. Goes into the paint. Tough sledding inside. It's stripped away. Johnson to Johnson. And he'll go up with the reverse layup. It's no good, but he's fouled. 3:19 to play here, 47-22. The top-seeded Polars up big early in this one. They got out to an early lead and have just built on it ever since.
And that's one thing about North. They're not going to back off or they're not going to calm down. Once they get you down, they enjoy dominating. They really enjoy dominating, and they're going to keep the pressure on you for the whole game.
Isaac Johnson will shoot two. He's got 14 points already. Taylor Johnson right behind him with 12. Isaac hits the first. You mentioned the playgrounds in Minneapolis North. You grew up playing there. Talk a little bit about that and what you mentioned the lessons and the life lessons and things like that you learn.
Well, you just learn your toughness out there, and you learn how to compete on the playground. You know, there's a lot of guys out there playing at the parks, and if you lose, you might not get on for about 3 or 4, maybe 5 games. So you always want to win, or you're always competing hard. And so, you know, it's a lot of emotion out there. It's a lot of competing, so you do learn a lot from playing on the playground.
Taylor Johnson throws one up and gets it to fall, and he's fouled on the play. He'll head to the line here with 3:04 to play in this opening half. Roger White, the head coach of Red Lake, chatting with the referee on the far side, and it's a tough position to be in, your team down this big this early.
It is. Once you get down by 20 points or more, you kind of have to abandon your game plan, and you have to try to play catch up. And unfortunately for Red Lake, they don't have the skill set or don't have a lot of the talent to play from such a deficit. But they have to continue to play hard, keep fighting, and we'll see what happens.
Cook looked away, nearly lost it. Brings it back up the floor, guarded by Nasir El-Amin. This is Brady Cook. Hands it off to White Feather. Now Jamie Cook. He'll step back out. 2:40 to play here in the first half. This is Bolio. Pull up jumper, high arcing shot, missed the mark. Sanford lost it. McLean underneath.
Nice.
Drives it all the way in. He's got 8.
Nice little fake right there to get up under the defender, and an easy finish.
Sanford with it. Now Sanders Smith. To the corner. Sanford inside. Wilson back in the game. Pull-up jumper is good.
Odell Wilson you can see how his game has matured. When he was a freshman, he was kind of nervous and scared to take that shot from 15, but now he takes it without hesitating, and he hits it at a high percentage.
White Feather with it. Pulls up for a shot, kind of an awkward shot, and missed. Goes underneath. That one is laid up and in.
In transition, that's North High at its best.
Cook with it. Goes baseline for Bolio. Turnaround shot, and he gets it to roll.
Nice move. Odell Wilson, understand he has 2 fouls. He doesn't want to pick up 3, so he's allowing the postmen to catch the ball and do what they want to do without fouling.
Wilson, as the teams exchange buckets, North making it look easy. Wilson with 11. His team's up by 31 with 1:10 to play here in the first half. McLean Goes to the corner, tries to fire it back up top. It was tipped away, and Wilson brings it back down the floor.
And that's another thing that North High does so well. They not only do they defensive pressure, but their arms are always moving, hands are looking to get deflections, and that's one of the things that Coach Larry McKenzie takes pride in, deflections and stopping the ball from getting to the open man. That is a big thing on defense for North High, and they do such a great job at it. That's why their defense is so swarming and so good.
Sanders Smith had the steal in the bucket. It's thrown away by Red Lake. And now the Polars get it back. Elijah Campbell coming in, a 5'9" sophomore, averages 1.7 a game.
Elijah is definitely a great shooter. He plays a lot on the JV, doesn't play that much on varsity, but if he gets hot, he can get going, and he's definitely going to get a lot of playing time next year.
And what a great experience for him here to get some playing time on the big stage.
Definitely. You have to get those young guys in there, get their feet wet, let them feel the atmosphere so they understand if they ever make it back here again, they'll know how to handle the pressure.
25 seconds left and a foul called. Sanford gets the bucket, and he'll head to the line with 21 seconds left here in the first half.
Sanford is another young player from North High with tremendous talent. Maybe one of the best point guards, has the opportunity to be one of the best point guards on the north side. He's definitely hard to handle. He can handle the ball. He can get in the lane. He understands how to pass. He needs to work on his outside shot a little bit more, but he's a tremendous talent.
The three-point play completed. Now he has 3. And a large lead for the Polars continues to increase. Red Lake just wanting to get back to the locker room and sort things out. Different structure this year. The first round, if a team loses in the first round, they don't go home. They get to play. They live to play another day. Three-point shot is up by Cook, and good.
Very good shot.
He's hit 3 from outside. That was his first one that wasn't in the corner. Time expiring, shot is up and no good. 62-29, our score at the half. The top-seeded Polars with the lead over Red Lake. We'll take a break. Come back with our halftime show here at Williams Arena. Live coverage all day from the Class 1A quarterfinals here on PrepSpotlight.tv. All right, we're just about set for the second half. Ryan Phelps here along with Khalid El-Amin, who won 3 titles with Minneapolis North back in 95, 6, and 7. Nice working with you. Nice to meet you after covering you and watching you play all those years ago.
My pleasure.
Red Lake, they are the visitors. They'll be moving left to right on your screen here in the second half. They're in white with red trim. Minneapolis North, the top seed. They're the home team in blue and white, moving right to left. This is McLean, kicks it outside. Whitefeather delays, three-point shot, up and good. Good start for Red Lake here in the second half.
That is definitely what Red Lake wanted to do, come out, be aggressive, hit some shots.
A steal and a foul. First team foul on Minneapolis North here in the second half. So McLean will inbound for Red Lake. They find themselves down big. They'll need to have a hot start here. Bolio underneath. Quick layup is good by Brady Cook, his first 2 of the game.
Great 2 first possessions for the second half. Establish some confidence, get going.
Underneath, Wilson, an easy bucket. He now has 13. Here comes McLean. Working on Isaac Johnson. Outside, Whitefeather. Tipped by Cook and out of bounds. Last touched by Whitefeather. And we saw a lot of those possessions in the first half for Red Lake. Something that really got them down early. Too many turnovers and just not hitting the shots.
12 turnovers in the first half was too many. It probably resulted in 20 points for North High on the other end.
Blue ball as it was out of bounds off of Red Lake in the scrum. Jaquan Sanders Smith will inbound for the Polars. He had 8 first half points, averages 11.4 on the year as Papasadora will check in. He's going to replace Brady Cook. And the Red Lake fans, you just have a feeling, they just want to explode. You know, they're ready to just come alive. And they just haven't had a chance to, other than a couple of three-point shots.
No, you're right. They've definitely been ready to explode. Coming into the arena before the game, they were already riled up and making a lot of noise. So if Red Lake gets on a little bit of a roll, a little bit of a run, you'll see them explode.
Johnson misses on the shot. Papasadora quickly up the floor to Whitefeather. Whitefeather knocked away by Johnson. Quickly down the floor, this is Isaac. He goes up for the two-handed flush. You could see that one coming from a mile away.
Yeah, he didn't get all the way back on defense after the one-on-one fast break, but he was definitely open for that dunk.
McLean off the glass, no good. Wilson the rebound. Quickly up the floor, Sanders Smith. Behind the back, pulls up in the paint. It's blocked by McLean. Gets it right back. Sanders Smith underneath. Wilson bobbles it. It's on the floor. Able to maintain control and lay one in. Nice job by the 6'6" junior. He's got 15. Here's McLean. Three-point shot is off the rim and no good. Wilson quickly back to Johnson. This is Taylor. Takes it all the way. It's knocked down and a blocking foul called. Kind of a delayed call, but a call nevertheless.
McLean is so athletic. You can see how high he gets up on his jump. I think Johnson was a little bit nervous going up against him, but he was able to draw the foul.
He pulled the ball back like he was going to do a big Jordan-style dunk.
I don't think he got up as high as he really wanted to on that one for that.
First shot is off the rim and no good.
Taylor Johnson is the brother of Tyler Johnson, or one of the wide receivers for the Minneapolis Gophers.
That's right.
I see his brother in the stands right there, down there with his father. So he's coming to see his little brother perform in the state tournament, and I'm sure the brother wants to do something nice and make a highlight for him.
Both the Gopher football and basketball programs seemingly trying to pick things up as they've had a long run of bad luck. And while there's a lot of things that have attributed to the slide over the last 20 years or so, but they seem to be getting things in the right place.
They are. Made it to a bowl last year,
That's
so
right.
We expect nothing but big and better things to come, and hopefully with the new coach, they'll be able to do some more great things.
An early exit for the basketball team at the NCAA tournament this year, but making the tournament a nice accomplishment. As a big block is thrown by Bolio. McLean underneath, and they can't quite get it to fall. Nice dish by McLean, though.
I think that's been today's story for Red Lake, not be able to capitalize on their opportunities.
Wilson, the putback, no good, and McLean has it quickly down the floor. Whitefeather goes up with a lefty lay-in, and it's not able to fall.
It's been a tough day for Red Lake. You kind of feel bad for them and their fans having to travel so far, and they're not playing their best basketball, but they're still competing hard, and they're making out for an exciting game, and as long as they continue to fight hard, North High will respect them.
Elamine stepped on the line. 70-34 the score, 14:28 to play here in this second half. Still plenty of time for Red Lake, but you see them in the first half when they would get any glimpse of momentum, it was quickly squashed by Minneapolis North, and a lot of times as Cook puts up a three-point shot, no good. A lot of times they're just not hitting the shots, even on the easy lay-ins we've seen.
And against North High, you have to make shots. That's how you neutralize their pressure. That's how you calm them down, is making shots. If you make shots, they'll play slower.
Whitefeather, no good. Rebound, Elamine nearly stripped away. Isaac Johnson has it. Fires it down the floor to Sanders Smith. Runs over Cook, and a blocking foul called. That'll be the second team foul. A lot fewer fouls in this second half than we saw in the first on both sides. .14 to play here in the second half. Along with Khalid Elamine, I'm Ryan Phelps here at the barn. Tried to throw it inside. It's knocked away by Bolio. That's Anthony Bolio, the 6'1 senior. You're talking about the Gopher basketball team making it to the tournament as it's stripped away. It's a good accomplishment to just to get there. They had a nice year.
No, they definitely did. I think they're one or two recruits away from actually going pretty far in the tournament. I think they should have a good recruiting class coming in, so let's hope for the best for them.
Bolio underneath. McLean wanted to slam it home, but didn't quite get enough air underneath him. He's able to lay it in. He's got 10.
And I think for the Gophers, I think Springs got hurt in the conference tournament, so I think that it had something to do with their early exit also.
As we were talking about the Red Lake fans, they just want give them something to cheer for. I feel like that for the Gopher fans as well. That there's such a big following for the Gophers, but they haven't had a lot to cheer for quite a while, and people are just waiting to come out and support the team and get a good product on the floor.
I agree with you. I think Minnesota fans are terrific fans. I think, like you said, they're just waiting for the right opportunity and the right team so they can come out and support and just go crazy. And I think next year is going to be the beginning of that. I really do.
Here's Bolio after the Wilson lay-in, blocked by Johnson and out of bounds. It'll stay with White.
Let's hope the Gophers can get a couple of some of the Minnesota talent to stay home and be able to play for the Gophers. I think that'll be a great thing for them, and they'll be a better team because of it.
What was the recruiting process like for you?
Well, the recruiting process was definitely hectic for me. You know, I had a lot of schools interested in me. I narrowed my schools down to Georgetown, Minnesota, Kansas, and Connecticut. I took my 4 visits to those schools, respectively, and I just really felt like Connecticut had the best opportunity to win a national championship. That's the reason why I went there. I love the state of Minnesota, don't get me wrong. I love the university. I grew up watching them. Melvin Newbern, Willie Burton, Richard Coffey, Clem Haskins. I love those names. I really grew up on those guys, and so not going here was definitely a bittersweet for me, but I think I made the right decision because I won a national championship, and I stick to that.
Timeout called by Larry McKenzie. It's a full timeout. We'll take one as well. 75-36 to score. 12-13 to play here in the second half at Williams Arena. We're back here at Williams Arena. PrepSpotlight.tv has all the quarterfinal action for you. We had the girls last week, the boys this week, and we've seen some great games. Ryan Phelps here with Khalid El-Amin. This one not quite as close as maybe we wanted to see, but you're seeing a couple teams battle out there. Red Lake, it's certainly not for a lack of effort. They find themselves in this position. They just have not been able to hit the shots and too many turnovers.
Definitely, and North High is not your typical 1A school. I know North High has doesn't have the population as the bigger schools, but talent-wise, as far as basketball is concerned, they are a bigger school, and they're definitely playing like it.
Wilson's fouled. He'll head to the line. Historic building here. The barn celebrated 75 years a couple of years ago. They got to be getting near 80 years old now, and a lot of great basketball at the college level obviously has been seen over the years, and we've had some great high school games here as well.
Definitely. We played here in 1995, 96, and 97. Being able to play on this court is very bouncy. You know, you can. Even I was getting up trying to dunk the ball back then, you know. So this court is a hooper's court, it's a player's court, and once you feel the atmosphere and the fans get in here making all the noise, you just your game even goes up into another level. So it's great for the players to have an opportunity to play on this tremendous court.
Wilson
in this great arena.
Missed the first, hit the second. 3-point shot from the corner is good. That one by Will Morrison. 3-point shot.
Red Lake has switched the defense. They're in a 1-2-2 trap, half-court trap. North High has been beating it with the penetration, getting a lane and dropping it down on numerous occasions.
Wilson gets his 20th points, and he'll head to the line for the and one. You played back in 95, 96, 97. You grew up watching the game, obviously. Who are some of the players you looked up to as a youth before you got into the high school sports world?
Well, growing up, you know, of course, I'm from Minneapolis, north side of Minneapolis, so there was a lot of great players coming up. Brett McNeil coming up. You also had Doug Carter. You have Dan Bannister, some of the great North High players. But also watching the Gophers, as I mentioned, Melvin Newbern, Willie Burton. I can go far back as Jim Shikenjansky playing.
Sure.
Minnesota has always been a great hotbed for basketball, even when it wasn't when it wasn't known as a basketball state.
Sure.
But now Minnesota has grown in the last 20 years, and now it is considered a basketball state around the country. So you can just see how basketball has grown, and the game has gotten so much better here in Minnesota over the years.
Isaac Johnson hits from outside. We saw a nice ball movement or dribbling skills by McLean as they go to the corner. For Morrison, it's stripped out of his hands, but touching the line was Sanford, and they'll give it right back to Red Lake. 11 minutes left here in this one. 82-39 is the score. The Polars up big in this one. They came to this tournament as the defending champs and owning that title, and really, I think, thinking that it was theirs to fight for and to bring back home again.
Definitely. Last year's team was so athletic. They had players who really wanted it, go out there and just fight and compete. So they're trying to duplicate that this year. They have the same type of team, athletic, guys going out wanting to perform, gamers who can perform in the big stage. So I look for them to do that, and if they take it one game at a time, they should be able to do that.
Papasadora misses the first of two as he was fouled on the shot. He'll get a second crack at it here. No good. Holloman with the rebound. This is Isaac Johnson bringing it up the floor. Johnson with 20 points, a steal by Cook. Cook quickly up, and it's tipped away by Sanford. He's able to keep it alive, but it's brought right back to Brady Cook. This is Jamie Papasadora. Inside, he's fouled on the shot, and he'll go back to the line. How much do you get to get a chance to follow the game and current players nowadays?
Yes, I do. I try to, get back and understand who's doing what and who's where. So I definitely am around the game and try to stay around the game. So I am.
As you watch the players coming up now outside of Minneapolis North, who are some of the players you like to watch and have a bright future maybe at the next level?
Well, definitely this senior class here, I'm looking at McKinley Wright. I had the opportunity to do the Champlain Park game yesterday. He's definitely a tremendous talent. Also, the big guy, Theo John, is going to be good. Brad Davis had the opportunity to see him yesterday. And also some younger talent at Minnehaha. You have Jalen Suggs. He's a tremendous talent. So it's some good basketball in the state of Minnesota right now. It's a great time to be a part of Minnesota basketball and high school league coming up. And like I said, Minnesota is known as a basketball state now. And so Minnesota has to be considered one of the best hotbeds right now for recruiting as far as college coaches. And you see them here looking at all the players in the summertime with the AAU programs. And so it just let you know.
McLean wanted to take that one home. It was knocked away by Dekai Hines, but the foul was called. McLean really brought that one back for a big jam, too.
I don't think he got up as high as he wanted, but he was definitely looking to make a statement with that play.
I agree. I don't think he was going to quite make it high enough for that one. I grew up in Apple Valley. A classmate of mine, Zach Goring, now the head coach for Apple Valley, and they've really come on strong. Really kind of made the news back about 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, when Tyus Jones was starting as a 7th grader. He, of course, went on to have a great career, followed kind of in your footsteps, went to Duke and won a national championship, and now, of course, with the Timberwolves. And I think players like that gain national attention really bring a focus to Minnesota basketball. And I think, like I was mentioning to you earlier about how Minnesota kind of followed your career as you went on, I think people really have gravitated to Tyus, and really maybe even non-Duke fans were cheering for Duke in that game to win the title.
Definitely, rightfully so. He was a tremendous talent. He was able to make noise nationally, and I think when you're nationally talented as high as he was, maybe the #1 point guard coming out in his class, people are definitely going to take notice and follow him because of that. We almost had an accident, had a couple senior citizens duck that ball out of bounds. We're happy the ball was able to miss them. and they have terrific seats down there so close to the action, though.
In the corner, wide open, Sanders Smith hits from three-point range. He's got 13. As the Polars continue to extend their lead, there's 10 minutes to play. Stolen away again, knocked away by Smith. The alley-oop is no good. Tossed up by Sanders Smith, but Taylor Johnson couldn't quite finish. Papadoris tried for the finger roll, but again couldn't get it to fall.
That might have been Johnson's opportunity for his highlight for his brother. Unfortunately, he did knock it down.
Well, they got 10 minutes left. They might get another chance at it. That one's thrown away, picked up by McLean. Cook, three-point shot, no good. Trying to fire it down the floor was Sanders Smith. It was batted away. Holloman down to Johnson. Johnson, charge. 9:15 to go here, second half. Coming up next, we've got Springfield and Nevis later on today around 3 o'clock. Number 2, Goodhue takes on Lake Park Audubon. And the 3-seed Central Minnesota Christian versus Northwoods. Goodhue coming in as the 2-seed. The girls team won it last week in Class 1A, so it's kind of fun to see both teams represented, the boys and the girls. We've seen that from Red Lake as well. They came down with the girls team. The boys team here is coming and representing the communities up there.
The student body loves that when both teams make it. They get out an extra day out of school. I remember when we came to the state tournament, the student body was so happy that they had a free day out of school that, they really was hoping that we won every state tournament game. So it's happy. It's good to see.
That one's thrown away by Cook. And it'll go back to Minneapolis North now. Running time, 8:50 left, and the clock will continue to run. And it looks like Wilson, Johnson, and Holloman all checking out. Isaac Johnson heading off the floor, as well as Sanders Smith. So we'll have to open the program back up again and make sure we get the substitutions right. Large lead for the Polars. They've had it most of the game. They got out to about a 10-point lead very early. 3-point shot no good by Elijah Campbell. McLean back the other way for Red Lake.
Well, for North High, number 3, you have a 7th grader playing on the court right now in Trey Holman. He's definitely a tremendous talent.
3-point shot no good, that time by Doug Dudley. McLean now. Bolio, that's Robert Bolio. Blocked away. Rebound on the putback, no good. That was Dekai Hines with the block. And now the rebound by Decoy Hines, stolen away again by McLean. 3-point shot off the top of the backboard, no good. I think McLean was trying to sell a foul. All the way to the hole, no good. Putback does not fall either. Up-tempo game still. And the layup is good by Robert Bolio III. Campbell to the corner. Holloman, no good. That's Trayvon Holloman, the 7th grader, as you alluded to. And a timeout called. We'll take one as well. 85-44 our score. 7:17 left to play here in game 1 of 4 on PrepSpotlight.tv. We're back here at the barn. Ryan Phelps and Khalid El-Amin. Coach McKenzie looked like he was going to put the starters back in again, but now is taking them out. Tell me about that, what the mindset was there.
I think the last couple times down, the subs, the young players have gotten in and just wanted to shoot shots, try to make baskets. The state tournament, they want to get their name in the paper for scoring. So Coach McKenzie definitely is always teaching. He wanted them to continue to play the right way, continue the way they've been playing, and not just throw shots up or get shots up because it's such a large lead.
7 minutes left, running time here in our first quarterfinal. Red Lake in white, Minneapolis North in blue. Khalid won 3 titles for Minneapolis North, 95, 96, 97. There was a different classification those days. We have 4 classes now.
Yes.
During, I believe, 2 of your titles, it was just 1 class.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
95, 96, it was the Sweet 16 tournament. It was the top 16 teams in the state who made it to the state tournament, and they had the tournament format that way. And I think that's the way to go, especially with the talent that Minnesota has now with each team, and it's so deep in the state that 4 champions just too many for the size of Minnesota. I believe that Sweet 16 was the right format, and it gives, you know, the best team the opportunity to say, hey, we are the state champions of Minnesota, and not 4 state champions. And if they can implement that type of tournament again, and I understand a lot of teams are traveling from so far away, and just to come up from one game and lose, it would be hard on the commute. Then have something like they do now with the Constellation bracket, so they get another or a couple of other games in while they're still in the Twin Cities. That would be an excellent addition to the state tournament and make for a better state tournament, and you know, just for the players. Bragging rights to say that we are the top team and the only state tournament champion.
Were you aware of this? I mean, obviously you knew it was one class, but of the kind of the politics and things around the classification changes at those times?
No, you know, during those times you're just a player, you're a student athlete, so you don't really get into that. But we're all aware of when it was 2-class format and A and AA, and it was 2 state champions, or when they switched it to the Sweet 16, it was only 1. That's what we pay attention to. You know, as you're a player and student, you don't get into the politics of it. You just want to play and to win. But now that I'm older and I understand it, you know, you see there's a lot that goes into it, but it definitely has to be addressed because you want to give the kids the opportunity to say that they're the best team and not one of the best teams in the state.
That's Whitefeather with the bucket. That followed 2 layups by Sanford and Trayvon Holloman for Minneapolis North, 89-46.
You see the teams out here really getting after it. It gives you goosebumps. You know, you think back to when you played and how the atmosphere was when I was there, when I was playing, and the pride that we gave the North High community and the student body. It was just tremendous, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
What's it like now when you go back to the neighborhood? How do the fans treat you? What's the reception like?
Oh, it's great. You know, I'm happy to say that I'm a living legend coming up from the north side of Minneapolis, the community. It's nothing but love. When I give back, I try to give back as much as I can, get to this high school, get to the local parks, and do camps. I do some personal training now, so I'm always staying around the game and trying to influence the kids to, you know, play the right way and practice the right way. So I'm always around the game, and I think it's nothing but love when I come back.
Can you still ball?
Oh, yes, I can still ball. You know, I'm just 1 year removed from basketball. I played last year in Germany.
Yep.
So I didn't go over to play this year, but you know, I'm always playing, trying to stay in shape. So you never know what will happen. So I try to stay in shape and be able to play. A lot of youngsters come up want to challenge me, so I have to be on top of my game to prove them, to let them know I still got it.
Armin Dalton now on the floor. He's a 6'1" sophomore, 44 in blue. 3-point shot blocked. Knocked away by Trayvon Holloman. Hail Mary pass. Campbell lays it in. Elijah Campbell has his first 2. So a lot of the players getting onto the scoreboard here for Minneapolis North. 3.5 to play. They'll go to the corner. 3-point shot. High arcing shot off the rim. No good. Talk about your post-college playing days.
Well, you know, after college, I went to the Bulls for a while. I played with them. I played a little bit with Dallas Mavericks and the Miami Heat. After my short stint in the NBA, I was able to go overseas and have a long career in Europe. I played in many different countries, and I wouldn't trade my experience for the world. I was able to see the world because of basketball, and a lot of people that I know haven't even been out of the country. So I'm very happy to and blessed to have had the opportunity to go see the world.
When you play overseas, what's the reception like from the fans? Is it popular there? Like it? I mean, probably not like the NBA is here, maybe not, but
No.
or maybe it is.
But you know, over in Europe, those are the professional leagues, so it kind of is the NBA for Europe. You know,
The
depending
fans
on
come out and
depending on which team you play for, they have tremendous fans, and you know, they love their teams, and they're really fanatics. You know, when it comes to their basketball clubs over there. You know, basketball is definitely popular. It's a great sport, and you can see the rest of the world how competitive basketball has become throughout the world, and you can just see that translate in the Olympics. You know, how competitive countries are, and you know, it's no longer a cakewalk for the U.S. You know, we have to bring our best players to get the gold now. So basketball has definitely become a worldwide game and very competitive worldwide.
Trayvon with steal, wanted to dunk one, didn't quite make it.
You know, that was the 7th grader being a little bit, over-assessing his ability a little bit. He wanted to, you know, put on a show for his family and friends, but I think the next time he get that, he'll lay it up.
Where did you live when you were playing overseas?
Well, I played in many different countries. I played in Turkey for about 5 years. I played in Ukraine for 3 years. I played in Croatia. I played in France for 2 years. I played in Israel. I played in where else did I play? I played so many countries, so they elude me. But you know, it's been a 16-year career, and you know, had the opportunity to grow to some great countries, some great cities, and to see the opportunity, or have the opportunity to see another part of the world. You know.
Glenn Carter fouled. He'll head to the line after this timeout. 1:07 left. 93-46 our score. When you look at those cities and just your travels, I mean, it's remarkable. You think of, you know, your childhood growing up on the north side, a kid with a dream, and you got to travel the world doing something you love.
Oh, definitely. Not a lot of people can say they do what they love, and I understand that I was blessed to have the opportunity to, you know, do something that I love to do. Play basketball for a living. It was a tremendous blessing, and you know, I wish more guys would have the opportunity to do that. Not only for basketball, but whatever they wanted to do, whatever they have a passion for, to actually earn a living doing that, is no greater feeling than that in the world.
3 state titles at North, a national championship at UConn, pro career in the NBA, another one overseas, all those years of basketball. Can you look back and narrow down to the favorite moment for you?
Wow, it's been a few. Of course, the national championship ranks up there as one of the best. You know, winning my 3 state championships, it really means a lot for the community and for North High. Of course, being drafted to the NBA, that was also a dream, being able to do that, being able to play in the NBA, and you know, being awarded the MVP, most valuable player overseas, numerous times, winning consecutive championships overseas numerous times. So I had so many great opportunities that one really doesn't rank over the other one, but I just look at my career as a whole, and sometimes I have to, you know, take a step back and just take it all in and understand how blessed I was, and happy that I had the opportunity to share that with so many family and so many friends along my career.
Decoy Hines at the line for Minneapolis North. So far scoreless. He hasn't played too many minutes yet, but we'll see if he can get a point on the board anyways here for his efforts. 30 seconds left in this one, running time in game number 1 of 4 here today. That one falls short. They'll take it from out of bounds. Just 20 seconds left in this one. After the game, we'll have a quick wrap. We'll send it away for a little bit and then come back with game number 2. Springfield and Nevis. The 5-4 matchups have been really good ones so far in this tournament, Khalid.
I'm ready for the next game. I'm sure those guys are going to be excited to roll and ready to go. So let's look for a great game next game.
3-point shot, no good. The rebound and the buzzer. 93-46. The final score in this one. Minneapolis North, the defending champs, move on to the semifinals tomorrow at noon over at Target Center, and they will take on the winner of our next game, Springfield and Nevis. Ryan Phelps here with Khalid El-Amin. Your thoughts on this one?
Well, North came out from the get-go and did exactly what they wanted to do as the game plan. Put tremendous pressure on Red Lake, attack in transition, and the game plan worked beautifully. We take our hats off to Red Lake. They traveled a long way. There's some seniors on the team, and I'm sure they didn't want their season to end like this, but unfortunately they just ran into a team that was much better than them today. But they travel well. We're happy for them, and I'm sure they'll be back in the state tournament next year.
And they'll be back tomorrow morning at Concordia in St. Paul. 10 a.m. start for the consolation semifinals. Again, Minneapolis North advances with the win. They're now 30-2 on the season, one step closer to defending their championship. 93-46 the final.